Hey guys, Jason here, Samco Workshop. Today we're going to talk about why my Gladiator, when I bought it, was kind of a mistake. And mistake may not be the exact word. I just don't know of a word to represent it because it wasn't what I was after. It wasn't what I was going for. It wasn't even on my radar. It wasn't even in my world here. There was no option for it whatsoever. So it wasn't something I considered. And all my Jeeps I've owned in the past, I always owned them for recreational use rather than daily drivers. I bought them, I built them up, lifted them, put winches on them, bumpers on them, did everything we would do to them, and we would take them and we'd use them for traveling all over northern Michigan in the woods and going places like that. So the Gladiator was never really on my radar because of the price, mainly being a factor, but so when I bought it, it was kind of a mistake. I wasn't even looking for it. I already had a different vehicle on order. So what happened is, these were my needs. I knew I wanted out of my 2022 Tacoma. Okay, I knew I wanted out of it. I bought it. I loved it while I had it. It was a great truck, but when I got down here and I realized how difficult it was to get into 4-low, how difficult it was to get the lockers to engage and disengage, and how I could only use the lockers in 2-wheel drive or in 4-low, and the fact that 32-inch tires were the biggest thing I could put on it, I knew I wanted more out of that for where I am down here in the swamps. Now, for 99% of people, it's perfect. But for what I needed more than that truck could give me. So when I knew I was selling it, I knew I needed something that could do more. My budget was $50,000 max, okay? That's an absolute max. I don't make much money at all. I make crap for money. I'll bet 88%, 90% everybody watching this makes way more than we do as a household. I don't make much money. I make my money from YouTube. You don't make much money. So I had a max budget of $50,000. My requirements were that I wanted to have front and rear lockers. That was a major requirement for me, again, simply because of where I am, okay, where I'm hunting at down here. It is brutal. Okay, the mud is brutal, so I wanted that. I also, for that reason, I wanted ground clearance. Okay, I wanted something with ground clearance. And then I also wanted something that had good resale value, because I only keep a vehicle for about 18 months. 18 months is about what I average over the last probably 20 years, somewhere in there. I keep them for about 18 months. I turn around and I sell them. Usually, if I play my cards right, with this one, it's got to have good resale value, and it's got to be negotiable, meaning I can buy it low. And what these two do together here is they mean that I make money, okay? I don't lose money, I make money on them. So I have not made a car payment still to this date in the last 9 vehicles. Now I'm making a car payment, but I have not spent a penny on a vehicle. I buy them low, so if I buy them here, okay, and then I drive them this far, and then I sell them for here. Okay, so that's what I do. It's so if I can get, and I buy them new, but if I can buy them for a good enough price and low enough price and negotiate a low enough number, when I buy it, I can drive it for 18 months or so, put 50, 60,000 miles on it, and I can turn around and sell it for a little bit more than I paid for it, exactly what I paid for it. Sometimes, like that Toyota, that Tacoma, worst purchase I've ever made as far as resale value, believe it or not. I know everybody's going to tell me I'm full of crap and all that, and it may be different for you guys that are buying a car and driving it for 10 years. Of course, with inflation and all that stuff, it's going to make you some money, but in my 18... my year, 18 months to 2000 or to 2 years, that Toyota was the dumbest purchase I ever made. As far as money, I lost money on it. The first time I lost money in a while. But since I can do this, I usually, even there with the Tacoma, since I was already so much in the green from other vehicles, even though I lost almost $5,000 on that Tacoma, getting rid of it after 20 months. Like I said, worst purchase I ever made was a Tacoma. But I still was already I was still so far in the green that I'm still evened out that it has not cost me a penny for a vehicle in many, many years. So that's very important that I have that. All of this comes from this combination right here. Okay? And then the other one is, for me, this is the most important. A vehicle for me is non-emotional. Okay, I do not get caught up in it. I don't care who makes it. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care any of that kind of stuff. I do not get all goo-goo and gaga and all excited, and I don't think of it as a 10-year investment. I don't think of it as a 5-year investment. I think of it as a tool to do a job for me for a short amount of time before I dump it when it's most financially feasible, and then I grab another one. That's the way a vehicle is to me. It is a non-emotional, could care less about it. It is a tool is what it is. It is an all practical senses of the word, it is a tool. It is no different than this ratchet right here. It's no different. It is 100% a tool that I honestly don't care anything about. It's going to serve me for up to 2 years. I'm going to dump it off, and I'm going to buy either the same one if that tool was really good, or I'm going to buy something else that's going to do my job, the job I need to do better. But it has to meet this criteria. These are the things that I have to have. So it's not emotional. That put this one right here, was at my top of my list. A Colorado ZR2. A brand new 2023 Colorado ZR2. So I started seeing the numbers. I started doing all the research. I started calling around. I started negotiating. You can't negotiate on a brand new ZR2. Nobody ever lets you do that. Well, I did it. And I got one for $47,100. Had it ordered. I had it set. I had it locked. It was there. It was in allocation, meaning that it was already built. It was sitting at the Chevy dealer, or at the plant, waiting to be shipped to the dealer was all I was waiting on. Everything was set in stone, done. I put $1,000 deposit on it. It was mine. While I'm waiting, and while I'm waiting, and while I'm waiting for GM to finally get around to ship that thing, getting kind of annoyed at waiting, getting fed up with waiting, to the point where it was a month already waiting, and it was just sitting there. All of a sudden, ads started popping up on my phone. Again, this is what I do for a living, so I see all these things that happen. Ads started popping up about Gladiator deals. And I saw some Gladiator discounts. And I thought, that's kind of interesting. They're talking about $3,000 at the time, $3,000 off on Gladiators. Now, right now, they're even better than that, but we're talking back in August, you know. I'm like, interesting. If they're offering $3,000 off, I know I can probably get $9,000. So I did. I started doing the math. I started crunching the numbers. I started playing with things. And then the next day I woke up and I started calling dealerships. And I went back and forth with them. And I started working them all day by literally at like 7:45 that night. I was at the dealer picking it up. And I had it signed, done, deal. And I got it for $10,800 off of MSRP. So I was really excited for that. And then I got it for $46,000. So I got it for less money than a ZR2. And it's got everything I needed. Under that, has the front and rear lockers, more ground clearance than a ZR2. It's got great resale value. Anybody tells you differently, it doesn't know what they're talking about. Like these people, Jeep is dying. Jeep's not selling any vehicles. Jeep got rid of the Cherokee, which was one of their best-selling vehicles. They got rid of the Renegade, which was one of their best-selling vehicles. And they skyrocketed the price on the Grand Cherokee, and they raised the price on the Wrangler and the Gladiator. That's the reason they're not selling. They lost half of their vehicles they had, and the other ones, they're pretty expensive. Don't think for a second that the Wrangler and Gladiator do not hold their resale value. They are fantastic. So it holds its value really good. Always has. For like 40 years, Jeep has held their resale value amazingly. It was negotiable. Like I said, got a tremendous amount of money off of it. Not emotional. Like I said, I don't care what it is. I don't care. As long as it meets my criteria, I don't care. So that's how we got it. What happened when we got it? What was it? You know, I went, I picked it up, and I didn't even test drive it. I didn't even drive it. I didn't care. It's not emotional for me. It does this, it does this, it does this, it does this. Good, give me the keys, I'm done. I'm out, okay? Now, there were some options I wanted that I got, some that I didn't want, like I cannot stand leather seats. I did not want one with leather seats. I actually wanted a manual, was what I was hoping to get, because I just sold my pressure washing business and got rid of that, because I'm like, I don't want to do it no more. So I got rid of the pressure washing business, so I wasn't towing a trailer daily, so I thought, man, maybe I should get a manual, but the manuals were on a no sale at the time because they were waiting on new clutches, supplier issues, and all that kind of stuff. So I ended up getting what I got, which I love. I absolutely love it. But it was not meant to be. A ZR2 was what was meant to be. The reason that Gladiator sits in my driveway is because Jeep decided to lower the price and make that vehicle obtainable for me and make it fit my criteria. Because otherwise it would have been up here in the 58K or whatever it was, plus tax, plus, would have been like 63K. That's out of my budget. Wouldn't have worked for me. Wasn't value there. And the prices at only a couple grand off, if I could negotiate it better, wasn't worth it. The value was not there. It became valuable to me when it met all these criteria, and I was extremely happy to have it. Now that I have it, I can't say enough good things about it. The robustness, the capabilities, the quality, the fun factor, the everything about it. And the second we picked it up, it immediately brought me back to all the Jeeps that we had. My last one was a JK, was a 2011 JK, so it's been a while since we've had one. But it instantly brought me and Tina back to that. And we're like, oh my God, these things are so much fun. Ever since then, I have been smiling every day, and all these months that I've had it, I got almost 21,000 miles on it right now, and you couldn't pry this thing out of my hands. But technically speaking, it was a mistake. It was not supposed to be what I was supposed to get. It was all of these cards aligning with the fact that Chevy couldn't ship my ZR2 quick enough that kept me happy, so I was getting bored of waiting for it. And the fact that Jeep decided to lower the price on the leftover Gladiators, which created this little storm, and my wheels went off in my head by one ad. Sitting there scrolling through my phone, and boom, ad on there. Huh, interesting. What's this? Let's go. Brrr, dive on the computer, figure some things out. This is workable. This is totally workable. I already knew it had everything I wanted with this and the Rubicon model. I already know all that. But I'm like, the numbers are workable. Okay, did some research, wrote some things down. By 1 o'clock in the morning, had everything sorted out. Called the dealers at 8 o'clock in the morning when they opened. Boom, boom, boom. By about noon, I had 6 working against each other and deals going and everything like that. By 3 o'clock, we had one signed, done, deal. And then I was in the car, 4-hour drive to go pick it up. Boom, problem solved. And been happy ever since. So that's the story of it. And maybe it's interesting, maybe it's not. But to me, it's pretty cool how it all lined up. Thanks for watching.